This is the Univision Television Network on Channel 3, Station WLEE, Palos Verdes.
Welcome everyone to Palos Verdes High School as we zoom into the Goodyear blimp who are bringing our aerial shots today. I'm Eric Lee along with Alan Horesco and Patrick Sutton in the booth, and our roaming reporter today will be Dan Crease, bringing you the second basketball game between the Junior Jaguars and the Senior Slimers. First, let me ask you, Alan, what do you look for in the game today?
Well, I'm just looking to review some of the great plays between the juniors and the seniors, Eric.
Well, it should be a good game. The first game was great. It was won by the seniors, 100-88. And what do you think this game? How do you think this game will come out, Pat?
Well, I expect a fast-paced, up-tempo, and a lot of missed shots in this game.
Well, I think maybe the jitters of the big game coming up. Well, for the juniors, we'll have looks like Franz Bakuli and Chris Manfredi as the guard, although Chris has not arrived. We have Eric Lee and Alan Horesco as the forwards and Patrick Sutton as the center. On the seniors, we have Brian Lee, John Machado, Dean and Bill will be the forwards. In the center, it will be Steve. And here they go. Brian Lee looking inside, gets it to Dean. Dean, a jumper, no good. Rebound to Franz.
Bad shot.
Bad shot. Definite air ball.
Eric Lee bringing the ball up, kind of pressing. Looks around, gives it to Greg, who's taking Chris Manfredi's play. There's a jumper, the newcomer, no good. Rebound
Dean. Really hurting. They don't seem to have any guard here.
Yeah,
someone to step
it's
up.
Supposed to be Franz, but let's see what happens. He gives it over to Brian. Brian running around the top of the key, looking inside, throws it into Bill. Bill to Dean. Dean looking in, a jumper, good. 2-0.
Almost no defense by the juniors there. No hand in his face, nothing.
It's good to know that Dean's not gun shy.
Yeah, he's already put up 2, and they only had 2 shots. Pat bringing the ball up. I don't know. The guards we have here is supposed to be Franz Bakuli. I don't understand.
Well, I guess if you have to revert to this is an interesting offense.
They were trying to go inside to Alan Horesco there, but he couldn't handle the pass.
Butterfingers.
Brian Lee bringing the ball over to John. John, the Dean. Oh, across the court. Dangerous pass, but Steve's got it. Puts it up, puts it in. 4-0.
The most unbelievable part about
Another lack of defense there.
It was unbelievable.
Notice.
Dean actually passed the
And
ball.
there you can see Pat was really paying attention.
Alan threw the ball to Pat, hit him in his head. Now, Franz and Eric lose the ball. Steve down, over to Brian. Oh, both teams getting a little sloppy.
Fortunately for the juniors, the sloppy play leads to the turnover.
What happened on that play, Alan, with Pat getting hit on the head?
Well, as usual, Pat was reflecting on something that wasn't a part of the game, and
Pat at the top of the key, looking inside, gives it over to Alan. Alan in low to Eric. Turn around, block, off to Dean.
Eric had absolutely no idea where he was. He just heaved that puppy up without even thinking about
Dean, the jumper, no good. Big rebound by Steve, puts it up and in. Steve grabbed that ball between Pat and Eric for the rebound.
Nobody seems to be boxing him out. I'm wondering who's supposed to be guarding that man.
I don't know. I don't think the juniors see that he's that much of a player, but he's coming to play today. Over to Pat. Pat again with the ball outside.
Pat looks to make a move.
A jumper.
And there, gives a good pass to
That was an ill
Steve, who goes all downfield to Dean. He misses it, but Bill is there. That score is 8-0, and Eric Lee calls a timeout. Try to get things together. Alan, what do you think the juniors need to do to get back in this?
Well, they definitely need to use some more defense in this game. Everyone's taking shots without any hands in their faces. Nothing. There's no defense.
8-0. Now, Franz Bakuli, maybe that's what they called about, getting it to their guard to bring the ball up. Franz was bringing the ball up against John, over to Greg. Greg outside, looking in, over to Eric. Eric against 2 different people, decides to give it back to Greg. Greg outside, looking in there. Oh, no, it was deflected.
It won't matter who brings the ball up court if they keep making these stupid turnovers.
Dean coming down. Oh, he actually passes the ball to Brian. Brian in the bill, lots of traffic, puts it up, no good. Second shot attempt. Looks like we have a foul on the juniors.
Well, if nothing else, Eric played some good defense there at the beginning on Bill. He at least made him alter his shot a little bit.
That, in my opinion, might be a mismatch. Why is Pat guarding Brian instead of in low against
I guess they put
Bill?
Pat at guard here. Where's Franz playing then?
Franz is against John. That's fine. And Brian Up top of the key. Oh, Pat knocks it down. Pat got the chair.
Pat, oh.
Oh. What do you
What a
think?
hustle play there by Pat Sutton.
What do you think of Pat against Brian?
Well, I think it's a pretty good matchup.
It's Steve. I think that leaves Allen against Steve. And Dean bringing the ball in low to Steve. Turn around. Good. I'm sorry. That was over Greg.
Well, once again, the seniors are having no opposition on their way to the basket.
10-0. Juniors still have not scored. Turn around the Pat. No good. Rebound Dean.
Just a little bit of rim.
Well, at least they're
There
trying
we
to work
go.
the ball
First turnover.
inside.
Here comes Pat. Back to Allen.
Oh, Nelly.
No good.
Allen's specialty is not his outside shooting.
Well, seeing as how Pat has made none from the outside, you're not one to comment. Shut up.
I guess the best we can say is that there's been a lot of bricks being put up so far.
Well, it's 10-0. The juniors better get going and get it going fast. Greg is looking inside to Eric. Throws it in there. No, off to Franz. He throws a wild shot.
Franz went into the land of the Giants and paid the price.
Now, 10-0. They got to get on track here. Greg is trying to direct traffic on a team he's not used to. In the Allen, right back to Greg. Greg, a jumper, no good, not even close. Rebound Eric, wildly, no good. Rebound Allen, puts it up, no good. Rebound Eric, puts it up, no good. 4 offensive chances, none of them fall.
Oh, gee. And nobody on the juniors is going to be back on defense.
Eric is,
nice
he
block shot
blocks
there.
John. Dean, another jumper, no good. Rebound Pat.
Now you can see we're starting to get some defense going.
Pat
Oh, and what was this?
Eric falls down after blocking Dean.
Luckily he's not hurt.
Was there a hack involved there?
Doesn't appear to be a hack, it's like a clean block. There's our Roman reporter, Dan Carice. Dan, wave to us here. Tell us the people that we're all here. Thanks, Dan. Okay, the ball's inside, and Dean scores again. Make that 12-0. How are they going to break this, Alan? They give it over to Pat. He puts up a jumper, no good, and that isn't the way they're going to break it. That's out of bounds on the juniors and senior ball.
I will say this much.
To answer your own question, yes.
Last time down, Franz dribbled inside. It might have been a little ill-advised as far as the shot selection is concerned, but at least he did take the ball inside.
The juniors have yet to score. Hasn't almost all their shots been ill-advised?
Well, they can't be satisfied with 18 and 19 footers every time down. They got to go in to try to do a little turnaround jumper, maybe anything else.
Dan Crease coming into the ball game. He's an in-low player, and they'll look inside for his scoring and rebounding. Give it over to Eric. Another long jumper, no good.
Maybe
Rebound. Bill. Bill throws it up to Steve. Steve all the way. In-low to Brian. Lay it up. Lay it in.
It is now 14-0.
Alan, the score is 14-0. What would you do if they were the coach?
I tell him to work on the defense. As you can see, all the shots are just being easily made. No defense at all being played.
Pat is looking inside, getting in the front. Oh, loose the ball. Eric puts it up, puts it in. Finally.
Score.
Long
Worth the
break,
drought.
14-2. Pat Allen's talking about the defense, but what about the offense?
It's just terrible shot selection. They're not being patient enough. They have to work it inside a little bit, and then slowly the outside shot will be.
Long jumper there by Steve. I don't know if you saw that, Alan. Eric had a lot of room between Steve, and now Pat has more, is concentrating more on the camera than his play, it looks like. Pat's looking inside, over to Alan.
Quite the showman, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he better start showing the stuff on the basketball court. His team only has 2 points, and he didn't score it.
Good jumper.
Steve made the jumper.
So it is now.
So the score is 16-2. Quite a beating. Allen throws it over to Eric. Long, wild jumper.
Oh,
It's
yes.
top of the back. Franz gets the rebound, and he misses too.
It's nice to know that at least somebody's hitting the rim here.
Now Bill's bringing the ball up. Brian in low to Dan. Turn around, no good. Rebound Bill. He puts it back up and in.
Eric, when was the last time you saw a senior take a shot from further than 8 feet away?
I can't recall one. They've been doing the inside shots, and the juniors have been doing the outside shots. And the
juniors
score
simply-
reflects that. It's 18-12.
18-2.
18-2. Excuse me. Wishful thinking for the juniors. Pat.
The juniors just simply refuse to get back on defense like they have to.
Greg is
I agree
throwing
with
an
that.
outside jumper. Steve coming down all the way, laying it up. Two different people, no good. Rebound Eric, cross court over to Bill. Excuse me, to Greg. He lays it up and in.
Well, finally the juniors started to get back on defense, and it all was, well, it started with Pat actually blocking out on Steve, and then I can't remember who, but someone made a good outlet pass to
Eric made the outlet pass to Greg, and it's now 18-4. Brian, no look pass to Dan. Dan over to Steve. Steve inside the Bill, lots of traffic. Turn around, no good. Rebounds off. Franz has it, gives it over to Pat. Pat's going all the way. He lays it up, and he was hacked.
Bad shot selection by Pat there.
Well,
he pays the price for that.
You have to respect the fact that at least he drove the lane, and it's about time someone did that.
Yeah, yes.
I do like the fake
Way
injury,
to
though.
show him the fearless side.
Act like you were hurt there, even though maybe
Pat's
your pride's
looking
been
for
hurt a little
sympathy,
bit.
but no one's. What's wrong? None of his teammates have seen he's okay. Alan, what's the problem here? Is there a little
Well, I think he's a player more
friction?
important.
Is there friction
Gotta
on
be
this
some
junior
concern
team?
shown.
They're down by 14 early.
This is a very egotistical team. They seem to be concerned only with themselves, offensively speaking.
And they've only got 4 points. Franz throws it over to Greg. He puts it up and in.
Wow.
Now that's 6 points, and 4 of them have been scored by an ex-senior team player. It's 6 points, 18-6. Bill does a nice little
An
scoop
uncontested
shot.
drive to the lane. That simply cannot be allowed.
Well, they've got to get their big men, Alan and Pat, on their big men and stop fooling around. Greg is looking over, gets it to Pat. Pat fakes over to Alan. Those two seem to work well together. Alan throws it over to Eric. Eric trying to drive, can't. Gives it back to Greg. Greg over to Franz. Oh, it's stolen by Brian. Brian all the way. No, he fumbles it away.
Simply too much.
So the score is 20-6. Oh, back the other way. Lays it up, no good.
Franz with the rebound. Nice rebound, but he should not be the one inside there getting those reads.
Greg goes all the way, scores again. Boy, the juniors are lucky they got him. 20-8, make that 22-8 after Steve scores again.
This is getting out of hand. The
Not a
juniors
good
really
game.
have to rally around someone on offense. I just don't know who it's going to be right now.
Franz dribbling around, gets it off to Pat. They need a spark from someone, I agree from you. And Pat with the jumper, no good. Rebounds off, Allen's got it. Gets it back to Greg. Oh, he was just snuffed out there. Here comes, but he gets the ball back from Brian. Here comes Greg, dribbling up the board. 3-on-1 break. Lays it up. No, he's blocked. He didn't pass it. Here comes Steve the other way. Steve, he passes it to Bill, back to Steve. No good. Rebound Eric. Eric
really
dribbling the ball up.
fast-paced
It's getting faster. Over to Greg. Lays it up and in.
Good play by
Good rebound by Eric.
And a good pass and a rebound and assist.
22-10 as the juniors scored that last point. As we have a break in the action. The juniors have resurged a little bit, Alan. Why do you think that?
I think we've gotten some uplifted spirit there. We know we can score, and people are trying now.
They've also, I think, have gotten closer to the basket, easier shot.
I agree. They've been a little more patient on offense, willing to work the ball inside, and if it's not there, then they do wait for the open jumper.
It appeared they might have been a little awe of the seniors' height, because they certainly do have the height advantage.
Well, give some credit to the seniors. They've been playing a whale of a game, especially Steve and Dean so far.
Against Franz. Here's Brian back there. Here comes a hook shot by Dan. No good, air ball, rebound Allen.
Allen's been getting quite a few reaps in this first.
Allen's pushing it up the floor, but he throws it away. Brian's got it. Over to Dan. Cross the Bill. Lay it up. Lay it in.
It's a fast-paced game, and the seniors seem to be willing to cherry pick, and they're not suffering on the defensive end.
24-10. Seniors lead. 14-point lead. Pat's got it. Pat backing in against Bill. His turnaround jumper. Air ball. Rebound Allen. Allen getting a lot of rebounds today. Over to Eric. Eric down the middle. In deep. Block. Rebounds off. Who's got it? Pat's got it. Lays it up and in. 24-12.
Strong play by Pat, steals it from his own teammate. That was good nonetheless.
Helps his teammate up afterwards. And here comes Steve pushing the ball up quickly. Bomb. Hit nothing but air.
I would call that a definitely ill-advised shot. One of the first ones of the seniors haven't taken many of those, but it's nice to see it once in a while.
Yeah, well, it's 24-12. They're doubling their score, and the seniors are up by 12.
Well, I guess they really miss Greg right now. They could really use some leadership at the guard position. Resco again.
Allen, middle rebound, Pat, rebound Eric, put it up, no good. Tipped up, Eric's got it again.
Nice to see the juniors fighting inside like that.
Over to Greg, gets the bound. 24-14. You were alluding to that earlier, Pat. They need Chris Manfredi to get into this game and help them out, and he's still not here. Bill going out, Dean coming in. That should help the juniors.
Yeah, I think the senior have such a height advantage that they've really been using it to their advantage so far in this first half.
Brian over to Dean, who is known as the black hole, I know. Dan, long shot, no good. Rebound, Eric. He's pushing it up on the floor. Has Pat on the left, and he gets stopped. Nice defense. Throws it over to Franz, and he was fouled.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see that Eric and Allen are really hustling on the offensive and defensive boards.
They certainly are trying to push the ball now after they get the rebound. Here comes Allen, in low to Eric. Eric against Steve, driving on him. Throws it up, no good. Rebound, Franz, no good. Franz is even working hard on the board. Here comes Steve pushing it up. Throws it to Brian, over to John. Knocked out of bounds by Franz. Good defensive play by Franz there.
The juniors just seem to be more of an aggressive team right now. Just wanting to go out there and exchange elbows.
Maybe that'll turn the tide. In low,
Yeah, you
Franz.
can see the hand in the face is leading to some turnovers.
Yes,
defense.
they need to get closer on defense. The defense is better. Allen makes a good defensive play and pushing it up on the floor. Down the middle, over to Franz. No. Stewart behind Franz.
Well, at least they're getting out there on the break, which is probably one area where they can have a chance against the seniors. And they have the speed advantage. If not, definitely they don't have the height advantage.
What they're doing is pushing the ball up quickly, and most of the time it's been working. Dean, a long jumper, good.
Just a good shot, what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Dean got the ball, he did what he knew what he could do, was shoot, and he made it this time.
I'm not exactly sure how many points Dean has, but he has definitely been...
He's their point leader.
Yes.
Over to Allen, short shot, no good. Rebound to Steve. Steve pushing it up again. Steve loses the ball, gets it back. Over to Dean. Dean against Allen. Dean puts it up. Air ball, rebound Pat.
Steve seems to have that same problem that Pat did at the beginning. He thinks he's a guard when in reality he's supposed to be their center.
And look who still thinks he is a guard. That's Pat back there, dribbling all over the place. Went from the east side over to the west side. Now it gives it to Allen. Allen to top of the key, gives it over to Eric. Eric looking into Franz. This team's all screwed up.
Franz is posting up.
And Allen throws it away. Steve bringing the ball up, throws it up, and it's good. Allen, what's going on here?
Just not concentrating well on those passes, Eric. Gotta look for the open man.
Eric throws it up, no good. Greg puts it up. Franz gets another rebound, knocked out of bounds. Now, I noticed something. One thing that the juniors are not doing much of that they did that time, Eric came straight down and took a shot. Usually they're making passes.
Yeah, I definitely approve of that tactic. I think they were forcing shots in the first 5 minutes or so, and that's one of the reasons they had such a terrible field goal percentage.
Brian bringing the ball up, throws it over to gets a lot of passing. There's Dean with another shot, no good. Rebound off. Well, long rebound by Dan. Dan throws it to Dean. Oh, intercepted by Greg. Greg all the way. Lay it up and in. And boy, the cameraman even liked that one. And Steve bringing the ball all the way. Lay it up. Blows the layup. Rebound off Eric. Eric pushing the ball up. Over to Greg. Greg lays it up and in.
A lot of coast-to-coast action going on here.
The tempo.
Exactly what we need to win.
The tempo is speeded up. Does that favor the juniors or the seniors, Alan?
I think it favors the juniors.
The ball is over to Dan. Dan inside, lots of traffic to Steve. Turn it around, no good. Rebounds off. Pat's got it.
Steve's been taking quite a few shots for the seniors lately.
Dean and Steve seem to take all their shots, basically. Pat being double teamed gives it over to Allen. Allen to Eric. Long jumper, no good.
Another in and out for Eric.
Rebound Steve. Steve throws it up to Dean. Dean bringing the ball up. Throws it over to Brian. Brian guarded toughly by Allen. Brian, behind the back, is intercepted by Greg. Greg's just playing a good game for these juniors.
Oh, definitely. He's keeping it in the game right now.
Greg looking for a shot? No, over to Pat. Wide open. No good. Rebound Franz again. Greg, wide open. No good. Rebound off. Looks, oh, Brian's got it down court. No. Trying to get it to Dean. Greg intercepted it.
Well, the the tide has turned a little bit in the juniors' favor. If they're just willing to be a little more patient on offense, maybe they can get themselves back in this game.
Greg tried to get the ball inside there, no good. Over to Brian, no. But Dan Creason that last time looked more interested in the commentating than playing defense. He had his head turned the wrong way.
Well, it looks like
Chris Manfredi is back in the game, and we'll see if this lifts the juniors as we actually are into the whole first quarter. First quarter is over, and with the score, 28-18. Strategies. Alan, what do you think the juniors will be working on?
Well, they'll definitely be working on their offense some more. We got to pick up on that.
They're goofing off now. Eric's pushing Alan toward the camera.
they look like such little boys, don't they? Those two.
Pat, what are the seniors working on?
Well, the seniors have played a really good first 3 quarters of the first quarter. In other words, they played well, but at the very end, they seem to be lagging off a little bit defensively speaking.
All right, well, we're ready to begin the second quarter. Steve will be out, so I think this might be a good chance for the juniors to get back in this ballgame.
Yes, I think so, especially because I believe he is probably the most dangerous offensive force.
They're down by 10, 28-18, and they'll switch sides that they're going to. And the ball is into Bill. He misses the short jumper. Rebound Allen.
Unusual. Allen's inside getting the rebound.
He's done that well today, though.
No, I'm just joking.
Chris gives it over to Eric. Another long jumper. Rebounds off. Franz almost had it. John takes it away from him. John walked a couple
of miles, actually.
yeah, but they didn't call it.
He changed to the foot about 3 or 4
Greg now on the seniors and hurts his old team, the juniors, by nailing a jumper.
Long distance jumper with Pat in his face.
30-18 the score is. And Chris is bringing the ball up. Hasn't been a factor yet, but we're still real early. And they throw it over to Franz. Franz over to Eric. Throw it cross-court pass, bad pass.
Cross-court pass.
Intercepted by Bill. Lay it up and in.
Got to work on that defense.
And, Chris. That's what Chris could bring to this team. Lightning bolt speed goes all the way for the layup.
Well, somebody had to take charge offensively. I'm glad to see that Chris is doing it.
32-20, seniors up. Oh, lots of problems underneath by John. Gives it over to Greg. Greg way outside, guarded by Eric. Looking around for somebody, gives it over to Dean. Dean around, Dean in deep. Dean puts it up. No good. Rebounds off. Franz fighting for it. Out of bounds, Franz. Senior ball.
Well, the seniors are getting a few too many opportunities on the offensive end, it looks like. The juniors have to work the boards a little harder now.
Juniors have been doing a good job, but you're right. Now the seniors are taking a little advantage in rebounding. Greg, a long jumper again. No good. Rebound, Franz.
But Franz is back where he doesn't belong.
But Franz gives it quickly to Chris, so it's obvious Chris is now the point guard. Pat, a jumper, no good. Rebound, Eric, put it up, no good. Rebounds off, Eric's got it. Strip, over to Chris. Chris pumps, no good. Rebound, Bill. 4 offensive opportunities, none of them good.
You can say all you want about second and third efforts, but if you don't put the ball in the hoop, it's meaningless.
Oh, outlet pass to Eric. Eric bringing the ball up, throws it to Franz. Franz in deep, all the way, lays it up, no good.
Wow,
Rebound,
shot.
Eric, put it up and in.
That's exactly what we need to get into this ball game.
What, inside play?
Oh, yeah.
32-22. And they're only down by 10. They're closing in. Dean goes all the way. Didn't look like anyone was guarding him.
Uncontested once again.
34-22, the seniors are up, and Allen's now bringing the ball up. He stops. He throws it over to Pat. Pat now looking against Dean. He's going to look like he did his patented turnaround jumper, but instead it's over to Chris. No good. I think that's out on the seniors.
One thing we definitely discovered is that, like Greg, Chris is not gun shy.
Chris looking inside. He throws it to Franz. Franz in low to Allen. Allen turn around. No good. He threw it over the basket.
Oh, sort of an alley-oop, but maybe it's for like another basket on the other side of the park, maybe.
Allen just think lost his placement on the floor. And he's done well today, but that shot didn't show his potential.
In all fairness to Allen, he has had a very respectable game on the boards.
Seniors just turned the ball over there. Juniors get the ball back, down by 12, 34-22.
Well, they have not been able to erase this double-digit lead for some time.
Franz throws it up wildly, no good. Rebound, Eric, no good. Rebound again, blocked out of bounds.
Well, Eric is the one who was really working the boards in the second quarter. Allen took the first stint at it in the first quarter, and now it's Eric's turn.
But Eric isn't putting it back in. That's kind of frustrating for him and for the juniors. Franz in low to Pat. Turnaround jumper. Good. Woo.
Excellent shot by Pat. It was wide open, took the shot. Once again, that's just what they need.
Greg goes all the way, no good. Rebound, Eric. Stripped. Throws it in low. Bill's got it. Lay it up and in. The juniors had the ball and a chance to cut it down to 8, but they got the strip, so they're down by 12. Franz is out of control. Franz threw the ball out of bounds.
Franz is trying to make something happen, but maybe he should consider stopping at the top of the key and looking for an open man instead.
Allen over to Eric. Eric looking inside to Chris. Drives and then throws it out of bounds. Whose fault was that, Allen?
Well, I couldn't really tell there.
Pat,
But I will say
well,
one thing. In Franz's defense, he has been playing a pretty good game. Even though he's been playing as a forward, he has managed to get a few rebounds there.
Yes, Franz has gotten a lot of rebounds for his height. Puts it up, no good. Rebound again to guess who? Franz. Throws it to Pat. They're rushing the ball up the court. Pat against Brian. Looking, gives it back to Eric. He fakes a shot and then goes up underneath. No good. Rebound Bill. Woo! Oh, to John. John's in trouble. He's being triple teamed and he threw it out of bounds. That's the kind of trapping defense maybe the juniors need to get back into it, huh, Alan?
Oh, definitely. Force those turnovers.
I know Alan's a big preacher on D, and the juniors are starting to tighten the clamps. Pat leaves the pass to Chris, who nails the outside jumper.
Oh, nice little two-man game going on there between Pat and Chris. Excuse me.
They're within 10 again. It's 36-26. Dean with the ball goes it over to Greg. Greg with a jumper. No good. Rebound off. Juniors need it. They fight for it, and it's ball's out of bounds. I think the seniors get it.
It appears to be very chaotic on the defensive end for the juniors. They don't seem to know what man they're guarding, and if they for some reason they do know they're guarding, they don't seem to be sticking to them.
Dean shoots again and puts up a jumper again. Now the juniors are down by 12 with Steve out. They really need to do their run now.
I agree, and I think maybe they should be looking to either Chris or perhaps Eric, since both of them are playing the inside game fairly well.
Pat was directing traffic in low to Eric. Turnaround jumper. Good. They went into Eric like you said.
Well,
Eric's
actually
starting to get his game together good.
Well, I think that's his fourth point. They need to find some leader. Greg was the leader earlier, and now obviously he's not on the team. It's 38-28. The juniors are down by 10. John goes into a corner there. Dangerous. Here comes Dean. Dean is stripped. Eric trying to save it. No, it went out of bounds.
I think one thing I've noticed since the beginning of the first quarter is that the pace of the game has slowed down considerably. And in fact, it has worked in the juniors' favor. Or if not in their favor, the game has stayed fairly even.
Long outside shot by Brian, and he nails it. And that'll put the seniors up by 12. Not much thing you can do that on the defense there.
No. That was just a good shot, any way you look at it.
Eric in low against Dean. Dean with the definite height advantage there. Back to Chris. Chris guarded by Greg, looking in low to Pat. Instead, over to Allen. Allen right back to Chris. Puts it up. No good.
That was a nice little give and go going on between Allen and Chris.
Pat gets the ball, though. In low to Franz. Franz down the middle. Franz in deep. Lays it up. No good. Rebound Eric. Block. Franz gets the ball back. Franz shoots. Didn't hit the iron or the kitchen sink. And here comes Greg, who gets tripped up by Eric. But he gets the ball back and puts it up. No good. Rebound Allen.
I would say in the first quarter, it was the inspired play of Greg and Allen that kept him in the game. In this quarter, it seems to be Eric's play.
Chris now has the ball over to Pat. Pat sets up, puts up a jumper. No good. Rebound Allen. Allen back up and in. Good positioning by Allen there.
Yeah, he went in there uncontested and made the easy layup. Good job.
Allen has really been a terror on the boards today. And good to see him get some,
among other places,
some points. Some points as well as the rebound. Greg outside, looking in low to John. John having lots of trouble, gets it back to Greg. Greg at the top of the key, sets up. Good, he hits it. Greg has just done well for both teams. Steve is getting up, and that's probably trouble for the juniors.
In the juniors' defense, though, that was a pretty long distance shot, and I don't think, for the most part, that anyone on the course could have nailed that with any consistency.
Yeah, once again, Brian hit a long one, and then Greg hits a long one. So the juniors, they're playing better good defense. They're just getting burned by outside shots. Oh, and Bill knocked the ball out of Franz' senior ball. They're up by 12, can extend it to 14.
Even though Franz at times has played out of control, his hustle is really making up for it.
Brian in low to Steve. No one's guarding him. I don't think they knew he was in the game, but he misses it. Pat gets the rebound. Pat down the middle. Pat in deep. Pat all the way. Lays it up. Gets the bounce. Good.
Excellent play on both sides by Pat Sutton there. He was in excellent position to take that rebound and took it all the way down by himself. Characteristic Pat.
Yes, Pat's got that fire in his eyes. Greg has a fire in his eyes. He missed. Pat gets another rebound. Pat's getting inspired. Pat dribbling around. Pat's now bringing the ball up. Pat's doing everything. He's even going to wave to the camera. Pat gives that to Chris. Chris in low, turn around, gets stripped, but Pat gets the ball. Pat doing everything, but the ball gets out of bounds. What do you think of Pat's play, even waving to the camera?
Well, that's a little bit of Pat's egotistical side, but if it helps him play, what can you say?
Greg in low to Steve, puts it up and in. Notice Greg made Eric and Pat jump.
They didn't jump very high.
44 to 32, another 12-point lead.
Well, you got to say this much. The juniors have come out the second quarter and decided to get their game faces on and decided to play a little bit harder than in the first quarter.
Chris over to Eric. Eric fakes, down the middle, lay it up. Good.
Nice play by Eric. Nice sweeping layup.
44 to 34. 10-point ball game. Greg bringing the ball up. Greg at the top of the key. Over to Dean. Dean puts it up. Oh, gets the lucky bounce.
If nothing else, the seniors seem to be making a good deal of their outside jumper.
And if you're a junior, you have to say, fine, let them do that. You don't think they'll be able to do it all game.
They haven't been able to work it inside nearly as much as they did in the first quarter.
Franz, a little out of control, but misses the jumper.
That's being very nice, Eric.
So Dean gets the ball again.
I thought he was on PCP for a minute there.
Greg hits another one of those long-distance jumpers, and he calls timeout illegally.
He's just unconscious from out there. There's nothing you can do about that, and I don't think that'll continue for very long.
With all the inspired play that the juniors have, they're still down by 14, Alan, so what can they do to tighten this up?
Well, I think we had the right idea. Franz, he drives towards the basket. Maybe he should look to pass off if he gets into trouble, draw some of the defense towards himself. That might create some openings.
The ball's over to Pat, and let's see if they try to create those openings off the good passes. Eric over to Pat. Pat with the jumper, and he nails it. I think you're seeing a better play by Patrick Sutton, and maybe he can be the spark the juniors desperately need. John was out of control and threw it out of bounds.
Well, once again, it looks like the juniors, what they're really lacking is a true point guard, someone who can bring the ball, drive the lane, and dish off.
And here comes Eric bringing the ball up this time between three different people and threw up an air ball.
That was pretty difficult with two big defenders waiting inside for him.
But Chris gets the ball back. Chris down the middle, over to Eric with a jumper. No good. Rebounds off to Bill. Seniors pushing the ball up. Over to Bill. Oh, great hustle by Bill. He got the rebound and hustled down court.
In case you noticed, Allen was the only player on the juniors who got back on defense there.
50 to 36, only a minute left, actually 30 seconds left in this second quarter. Chris puts it up. No good. Rebounds off to Bill. Bill pushing the ball up to Dean. Eric putting him a lot of pressure. And Allen picks up the ball. Allen gets the ball down the middle.
Allen Oresco.
Allen over to Franz. Franz into Allen. Two-man game. Allen looking around. Gets it back to Franz. Franz drives. Gets it over to Pat. Lays it up. No.
Oh, he blew the layup.
Pat puts it up again. No. Rebound Bill.
It's those kinds of opportunities that have to be put into the basket.
I have to
The juniors
concur with
won the
Allen.
Brian bringing the ball up, and the seniors are clinging to their 14-point easy lead, make that 16 after the layup by Dean.
Well, for all the juniors' hard work here in the second quarter, the lead is actually increased, not decreased.
And that must be disheartening. Franz, a little wild shot, no good. Rebound, Eric puts it back up and in.
Well,
Excellent play there by Eric.
on a very
Surrounded by taller men, still fights to get the rebound and put it in.
Steve went right through. Alan, you've been preaching defense all the game. The juniors had none there.
Well, Steve's an incredible player. For anybody to play defense on him, it's a tough proposition any way you look at it.
20 seconds left in the game. They block Eric. And Steve's going to go put the ball up with just 6 seconds left. No good. And that is the half. With the juniors 54, the seniors 38. Let's go to Dan Carey.
Brian Lee, coach of the Brian's team, who's winning 56-36 at halftime.
Hello there, Dan.
How you doing there, Brian?
Pretty
You guys
good.
are doing pretty well.
Yes.
Playing really good basketball. What do you have to say for your team? Is there any strategy going into the second half?
Well, there's not much strategy. There hasn't been all day. We're just pretty much going out there and playing our game. Good basketball, not wild, not long shots, but instead getting inside and getting the easy ones.
Yeah, you guys sure made a lot of block shots too. So what do you think about the score? Are you pleased with it, or you wish you were up by a little bit?
This is about what I expected. I'm pleased. I can't complain. It's about, I knew it was going to happen, so it's happened.
Okay, well, thank you very much for halftime show. Now we got Eric Lee of Eric. Now we have Eric Lee of Eric's team here. You guys are having a little bit of problems.
No, see, well, we didn't have our whole team at the front, so now that we got all our team together, we're going to play a much better second half.
Well, I noticed that second quarter was a little bit closer.
Yes, it was.
Going out quite as much. You guys have a little.
And I think
you got a slight height advantage. What's your
Well, see, they have the slight height advantage. We're quicker, younger, more energetic than they are. So,
you think you'll beat them on speed?
Oh yes, we'll win the second half. No, if we can come back.
Down by 20
if we can come back the second by 20, we don't know. I think my brother is a little overconfident, and you'll see who is the best team in the second half.
Good. All right. Well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
My predictions for the second half are Brian's team's going to dump this other one. This one's got no hope because first of all, they got depth more on Brian's team. They got an extra player, which is going to help them in the long run. And Eric's team, well, they're too short, and the other teams give them too many block shots. So my prediction is Brian's team by 40 at the end of the game.
Thank you, Dan Crease, for that interview with the score 54-38, seniors' favorite halftime. What did you think of Dan's comments, Alan?
Well, I think I could detect a little bit of a bias creeping into his voice there. What did you think, Eric?
Well, Dan, he has a chance to affect this, but I think that you see a better effort by the juniors, like Eric said, but they got to change their play around completely.
That is true.
Chris throws it over to Eric. Eric driving, throws it up, and puts it in.
Excellent start for the second half.
I have to agree.
Pat, do you think that's what their style, to take more driving to the hoop rather than an outside jumper?
Yes, definitely. I'm glad to see that they got aggressive out there offensively.
Steve in low to Bill, but how do they stop that? Bill makes a turnaround jumper.
We got to push them out.
It's 56-40, and there is Chris with a leaping, leaning jumper.
Quick scores both times down by the juniors.
Maybe they're going to work on that field goal percentage, which was just horrid the first half. Long jumper by Steve. They'll give him that all day.
Definitely.
Rebounds off to Eric. Eric pushing the ball up the floor. Over to Pat. Pat looking inside. Back to Chris. Good passing. Chris over to Pat. Pat with a jumper. Hits it. 3 straight times down. Juniors have scored.
Maybe the juniors' luck has changed here.
Steve guarded by Pat. Over to Dan. Dan guarded by Eric. Over to stolen by Alan. Alan all the way. Lay it up and in.
Beautiful steal and layup by the wingman.
8-2 run by the juniors. What's going on here, Alan?
Well, it looks like the seniors have broken their concentration. They're not getting the good shots. Well, there you can see that's just talent.
You see, the only baskets has been made by Bill turnaround jumpers. Juniors have not been able to stop that. Chris all the way, lay it up, no good. Rebound Pat, puts it back up and in. Pat waving to the camera, he's inspired. 2 for 2 this half. On to Steve, oh boy, defensive lapse by the juniors. Think the juniors and Pat were doing too much waving and not enough defense.
A little bit of Denver Nugget offense on both sides there, and no defense.
Chris gives it over to Dean. Dean over to Eric. Dean has taken Franz McCooley's spot. Franz has had to get some breath on the sidelines. Chris misses the jumper, Rebound, Bill.
Well, it's good to see at least that they are working the ball inside and not just willing to take the first outside jump shot.
Bill in the Brian misses the layup. Eric grabs the rebound and pushing it up on the floor. Over to Pat. Pat against Bill. Pat directing traffic. Pat gives it over to Eric. An outside jumper. He hits it. Pat and Eric are both 2 for 2 in the second half. And that's quite an improvement than what they were. And John travels, almost goes backcourt, and Dan throws an air ball rebound. Allen pushing it up on the floor. Allen ahead to Chris, stops, lays it up, lays it in.
The game has definitely turned back to its fast-paced origin as it was in the very first quarter.
The juniors are only down by 8, and here comes Steve all the way, lays it up and in. Defensive lapse.
Well, there is a bad side to this. There's been absolutely no outside shooting just about.
60 to 50, these seniors back up to a 10-point lead. Pat misses it for the first time in the second half, but he tries to get the ball back, can't do it. Over to Steve. Steve against Allen. Turnaround jumper, hits it.
There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Allen played him close, but the guy just sank a long, difficult shot.
2 straight baskets by Steve has put the juniors back in a 12-point deficit. Oh, a sloppy play by Eric. Was Brian out of bounds? Doesn't matter. Dean gets the ball back. Dean pushing the ball up the floor. Dean all the way. Dean over to Pat with the jumper. No good. Eric gets blocked by his own teammate. The ball's down to Steve, and Steve scores his 3 baskets in a row.
Yeah. What can you say, Eric?
You can say the juniors are falling behind despite their spirited beginning. And Pat gives over to Chris. Chris across to Dean. Dean with a jumper. Dean misses. Allen up under there once, no good. Allen fighting for it. Goes to Bill.
The problem with the juniors seems to be that their offense comes in spurts.
And Brian and Dean fighting underneath. Now, interesting, now that Dean's on the juniors, he hasn't taken a lot of shots. I don't know why.
He's been very unselfish.
Over to Chris. Chris against Bill. In low to Pat. Pat back to Chris. Chris guarded tightly by John. Throws it, fires it over to Dean. Dean throws it up. No good. Rebounds up. Eric's got it. Eric
travel.
Eric does travel, and they do call it.
He might have traveled twice in one play. Unbelievable.
Well, the luggage company will be wondering if he wants to be their sponsor.
Not to mention, he might have even been 3 seconds in the key there.
And Steve, for the 4th time in the second half, comes straight down and makes a short shot.
He's uncontested. Whoever is playing him defensively should pick him up a little bit earlier.
I can just tell that the juniors just lean wilted, that their spirited beginning is not gotten them anything. Eric with another long jumper, this time no good, rebound Steve. Dean tries to steal it, no luck.
It's sort of sad because the only one who's coming out and playing aggressive ball for the juniors is the, I want to say the turncoat, but he is a new member here, Dean.
Offensive lap by Steve, he just dropped the ball. Hopefully the juniors should be able to take advantage here. Chris driving, puts it up, puts it in.
That's a little better shot. I mean, if he's off balance, but at least he's driving the lane.
Allen, they need to go to somebody, the juniors, to get back in this game. Steve misses the shot, rebound Pat. Who do they go to? Who's the go-to guy on this team?
Well, Eric, not to make your head any bigger than it already is, but you seem to have been doing pretty good under the boards. I think if you make yourself open...
Eric gets himself open, misses the jumper, rebound to Allen, blocked by Pat. Pat going up, Pat going down. Ball to Franz, wild shot. Rebound Allen. Allen, lots of rebounds. Over to Pat, no good. Eric, no good. Bill, how many chances did they have? None of them went in.
There must have been 5 or 6 missed opportunities by the juniors.
Here comes Steve going straight down, and it goes straight in. You know, Randall Cunningham, they have just one guy key on Randall Cunningham on football. One guy just needs a key on Steve and not let him do that.
I agree, Eric. I mean, he has
Maybe
been
two
their
guys.
entire offense here in the second half.
Pat puts it up, no good. Rebound Franz. Oh, nice pass in low to Allen. Blows the layup. It's over to John. John cross court to Brian. Brian whips it over to Steve. Steve against Chris. And Pat puts it up, no good.
Look at that.
Back up with Steve, no good. Over to Dan, no good. A lot of opportunities this time for the seniors. They can't put it in.
But if you noticed, when Steve had a couple of guys in his face, he missed 2 fairly easy shots.
And no one's in his face now, and he swishes it.
Well, maybe if the juniors decided to play some defense on Steve, they could hold him down.
Does anyone know who's guarding Steve?
I can't tell for sure. It seems to be a switching defense for the juniors.
Here comes Chris trying to get free, driving, but forgets the ball. Here comes Brian bringing the ball up. A little slower pace by the seniors, a little more deliberate. Trying to run that clock down into Steve, their big man, no good. Rebound Eric, pushing the ball up the floor. Eric with Pat on the right, Chris on the left. Oh, and low to Franz, but Franz wild. Allen gets it back to Pat, who throws it to Franz, puts it up, no good. Franz gets the ball back again, over to Pat, sets up, no good. Couldn't get the roll. Brian over to John. John goes front court, then goes back court.
And that is definitely illegal.
And we're going to be out of bounds here. Juniors got the ball. And the juniors are down 70 to 52, 18-point deficit.
Well, as I said before, ties definitely turn in basketball very quickly, and it seems to move back in the favor of the seniors.
The juniors are on one of their scintillating 2-0 runs, and the ball is in low to Pat. Pat against Bill. Gives a few inches there. Here comes Chris, driving in, no good. Rebound Eric, no good. Falls down, hopes for a sympathy foul. Will he get it?
Looks like
They do. They get the ball back. Gives it to Franz. Franz across court to Pat. Pat gets blocked. And here comes... Allen steals the ball back.
the leather out of his teeth for a few days from that one.
Allen gives it over to Eric. Eric dribbling inside. No good.
It was a nice move, but it might have missed 3 or 4 steps in the process.
All I know is here comes Steve. Now, is anyone going to guard him? Is he guarding? No. And
Chris
Steve...
is starting to decide that.
Steve hits another jumper. I don't know how many times that they are going to allow this to happen. Here comes Chris. Chris bringing the ball up. Chris against Steve. Over to Allen. Over to Franz. Franz sets with another jumper. Error ball. Brian gets it. Poor offensive set.
I have to agree, and one thing that I noticed is that they were more patient on offense, but maybe Franz shouldn't be the one pulling the trigger so much.
Here comes Chris looking inside, gives it over to Eric. Eric down the middle, in deep, throws it up, no good, rebound, and he blew the layup.
Well, once again, it's a question of the juniors not being patient enough.
Steve hits another jumper, and Alan, you said the go-to guy was Eric, but he has done nothing.
That's true.
Is there anyone else they can go to, or should they keep feeding it into Eric?
Chris Manfredi looks like he's out there to play. He's been taking the ball down the court, taking the shots. From what it looks like, putting in quite a few of them.
Here comes Bill pushing the ball up the floor. Bill down the middle, in deep, lay it up and in.
It looks to me that Chris has definitely forgotten his selfish ways that he started the second quarter with, and toned down his game, and has really made himself a good point guard here.
Now there was an air ball by Franz. Allen got the rebound and gave it back to Pat, who made a jumper to cut the lead to 22 and to stop another run by the seniors.
That's a perfect example of being a little more patient, giving a few passes and finding the open man.
24-foot jumper by Steve is no good. Rebound Eric, over to Chris, a driving layup. Chris has done well doing the layup.
That really wasn't a layup. That was about a 6 or 7 foot finger roll.
And nicely done.
I agree.
No rebounding there, though. In low to Steve, that's trouble. Turn around, he hits it.
You cannot simply let him in that low.
And Eric slowly bringing the ball up. Eric bringing the ball up, looking for someone who he's going to go to. Looking into Pat. Instead, over to Chris. Chris with a jumper. No good. Rebound, Steve, authoritatively. Steve pushing the ball up.
Seems to be some sort of talking going on.
Oh, yes. I think now the game is almost getting out of hand. In low to Dan, and he makes the jumper.
I always thought Pat was just such a nice, quiet boy.
Well, it's 80 to 56, and the juniors are getting their butts kicked now. I don't know any other way to say it, Alan. What do you think?
Well, it looks to me like we're getting a little lethargic, moving the ball up the court. I think if we could speed things up a little bit, we might be able to throw them off. I could be wrong, but
Well, it's almost getting too late to make a run and to get back in this game. It'll be 82 to 58, and Dean puts a jumper. No good. Rebound, Eric had to go get it, pushing it up to the floor. In low to Allen, lays it up, lays it in, 82 to 60.
Nice play. Allen was anticipating Eric getting the quick outlet faster.
82 to 60, and Steve puts it up. No good. Rebound, Eric again. Eric pushing the ball up.
Steve was a little out of control on that particular shot.
Throws up to Allen. No good. Rebound, Eric, and he gets the old block. Aru. More leather needing to be picked out for the
Let me
juniors.
tell you, that's probably the worst block I've seen in the day. Boy, that looked really bad.
yeah, I must agree with you there, Pat. That was quite the block.
Eric might want to hide his head in shame for a while here.
But it is impressive that Eric went up for that rebound. I didn't see Allen or Pat or any other junior in the vicinity. Eric Jones. Gently. Rebound by Allen. Wow. He passes to Franz. Franz.
Pat's been in the key for about 10 seconds.
Pat gets the rebound, decides to do his turnaround jumper, I can tell. He did that look in his eye that he wasn't going to pass. Seniors throw the ball down floor, even though Steve never went out of bounds. and
The game is degenerating a bit here.
Brian lays it up and in.
There's
Over
utter
to
chaos
Allen.
on the court
Allen
right now.
throws it to Chris, a wild shot.
Something tells me Steve's going to shoot here.
Steve lays it up. No good. Allen pushing the ball up real quick. Allen,
think Allen might
behind
shoot
the back.
Oh!
Throws it. What is
I think
Brian doing?
Alan's been watching a little bit too much Tim Hardaway on the
I guess they called that a traveling? Was that traveling, Alan?
I can't tell.
Our cameraman is getting bored.
I call it coast-to-coast ugliness.
Here comes Dean. Dean goes right by Allen and throws a horrible shot.
Let me tell you, this is not a pretty display of basketball.
Here comes Chris. This is obviously what they call garbage time. And Chris lays it up and in. In garbage time, it's 84 to 64, a 20-point lead. We're only got three minutes left in this game.
I believe everybody here is trying to pat their own box, their numbers here.
John's trying to get his first basket and not by a 20-point shot. Here comes Pat all the way, laying it up. No good. Rebound. Puts it back up. No good. Hammers Eric.
A little overzealous there.
Eric.
Hammers his own player.
Eric with a jumper. It's good. 84-66.
Well, Eric was lucky that he didn't get an eye taken out there. It looked like.
Eric not only has to worry about the opposition, but about Pat, too.
Pat would have been ejected, but he did it to his own player. The rebound's off to Chris. Another air ball.
This is definitely a coast-to-coast. Whoa, no,
Chris,
it's not.
no, the Franz, he didn't come close with that layup. Allen misses an easy shot. Franz throws up a shot and misses. Stolen. Here comes Pat with a little turnaround. No good.
I haven't seen this many layups missed in a long time.
Pat throws it to Chris.
Oh!
Who wasn't ready? And it's out of bounds.
I don't know. Chris really blew that one.
Okay, Alan. Obviously, the seniors are going to win this. What did they do that the juniors didn't?
They used their height advantage to their advantage. What can you say, Eric? Kind of a mismatch to begin with.
Pat, the juniors out-rebounded the seniors, but and look at this. Throws it out of bounds.
Rebounds. The number of rebounds can be pretty misleading. It just seems to me that, like Alan had said, the seniors were taller, they were older, they had more experience, and they used all those things to their advantage.
An anticlimactic ending to a very lopsided senior win. The seniors 84-66 for Patrick Sutton, Alan Horesco, and our cameraman Patrick Wells, and our roving reporter Dan Crease. I'm Eric Lee, saying so long from Palos Verdes High School.